Governments lie all the time. Oh, not just the American government. It's just in the nature of governments. Well, they have to lie. And since they don't represent the people, and so since they act against the interests of the people, the only way they can hold power is if they lie to the people.
Whatever scary things are lurking in the back of your freezer, I'll venture a guess. You've got nothing on Terrence Tumpy. Frozen inside sits a tiny vial of what might be the deadliest pathogen in history. A virus that hadn't been seen in almost 90 years, the 1918 flu, until Tumpy brought it back from the dead.
1918 was the worst pandemic we've seen for any virus, and this killed probably at least 50 million people worldwide.
In 1918, flu took 3 times as many lives as all of World War I.
So the question is, why was it 1918 so different? Why did it cause so many excess deaths compared to other pandemics?
And could a flu that deadly strike again? The question is, will they ever be able to? And if so, how? And when this virus does strike, why does it kill? Terrence Tumpy believes he can find the answers by experimenting with a flu that transmitted and killed very well, the 1918 virus.
By having this in hand, we can actually try to understand better how these pandemic flu viruses work.
There was just one small problem. The 1918 virus hadn't been around for 9 decades.
No one had ever been able to study the 1918 virus, this horrible killer virus, because there were no isolates.
No living samples. But biologist Jeffrey Taubenberger, searching through preserved tissue samples of World War I soldiers, was able to recover the 1918 flu's genetic code. Somewhere buried within are instructions that give it the ability to kill. Tumpy couldn't find an answer by simply reading a recipe for the 1918 flu virus. He needed to experiment with the real thing.
We felt like it was important to actually reconstruct this virus.
That's right, he said reconstruct. Rebuild the 1918 flu from scratch, one of the most lethal viruses we've ever known. Using Taubenberger's recipe and a technique called reverse genetics, scientists at the Mount Sinai School of Medicine added all the chemical building blocks in the right order and the right amounts. And it worked. They created a living 1918 virus so nasty that when Tumpy exposed lab mice to it, they were all dead in just 3 days.
I was quite surprised. I didn't anticipate that they would die that quickly. That was very quick. There's something very intriguing about the HA.
So intriguing that now Tumpy is planning to do something pretty radical. Put the hemagglutinin gene from the 1918 flu virus into the avian flu virus to see if he can create an avian flu virus that can spread from person to person.
You want to combine H1 1918 with H5. What's going on there?
I think it'll be important as a set of experiments to understand how H5N1 works. And by mix and matching it with genes from a virus that actually did that quite well, the 1918 virus, we were hopeful that we can figure that out.
And believe me when I tell you, you are a lab rat.